Okay. All right. Here we go, folks. On this hot Thursday. My goodness. I mean, part of it feels nice. It is still summertime. That is exactly right. We're live on the radio in just 2 minutes. 2 minutes. All right. So it does feel like 94 degrees, and it is going to be 90 over the next couple of hours. But then tomorrow it goes away, and then rain moves in on Sunday. So, all right, we're live on the radio. Just 2 minutes. Good afternoon, everybody. Give you the latest now with our noon report. It is 1. I've already had a busy morning, and we are ready to roll. Un momento. Yes, yes, yes. There we are. There I am. All right. There's the crowd that comes filing in. Yes, indeed. Okay. I believe everything should be good to go. And it is. There's RF. All right, folks, we are ready to go in less than a minute. Less than a minute. Thank you. At 12:06 on Yes, a very warm Thursday. Folks, good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePetro Show. It's AM 1380, 99.9 FM. We want to welcome everybody in that tunes in, likes our live stream. So right now, if you're listening on the radio, it's not your imagination. There is the chosen one. You can listen on the website, by the way, depetro.com, very at the top. But AM 1380, 99.9 FM. But we also do our noon report on Facebook. Many people watch it live. Other people watch it a little bit later. Give you really like the top 4 stories of the day, kind of like a midday, as we call it, noon report. This portion of the program on this. All right, it is a hot Thursday, but it's brought to you by PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, where folks, we're right now. I mean, they have really fantastic fall mums, 4-inch, 12-inch pots. They also have the mum hangers, which always look nice. Kale, ornamental peppers, straw, fall decorations. PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. Don't forget they have, that's true, native vegetables such as corn, tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, onions. You know, the fall, this is also a very good time to do all your planting. So, and it is still summertime, as JR reminds us. It is still summer. I know some people feel, or think, I should say, incorrectly, that summer ends at Labor Day, and it actually doesn't. We still have some time to go, and then you have the fall season, folks. But pop in and see them. They are terrific. Family run business. They're open 7 days a week. They have a very good Facebook presence where they are constantly posting photos of everything they carry. You know, and for your outdoor, a lot of people, more and more people are having outdoor setups, outdoor kitchens, big screen TVs. People will be watching the Patriots outside. Why not then decorate with some nice mum hangers, fall mums? And of course, more and more people are doing more autumn, fall decorations, straw in different fall decorations. PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. They also have a great selection of deer-resistant arborvitaes, which I always think just it's such a nice divider between property, and it gives you the privacy you may want from your neighbors without putting up a fence. It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. Well, folks, check out the website, DePetro.com. We have another posting coming up a little bit later regarding the situation that happened at the ACI, as we're still getting more details. But we have the latest on, I think her political career, Matos, the lieutenant governor, I think it's over. I think she was actually like a creation. I've heard things about her that everyone was saying she's really smart and impressive. I just have failed to see it. And then her collapse is really what did in Aaron Ruggenberg. Ruggenberg delivered the 25% he thought he would get and hoped to get, more importantly. Gabe Amo, of which I'm learning now, and I was unaware of this, that he was part of the Bloomberg campaign. But again, that certainly didn't seem to hurt him getting a job in the Biden White House. But as Matos collapsed, Gabe Amo, if you give Matos just say 10 points, that puts it, her, Gabe Amo, who did win the primary, and Aaron Ruggenberg far more in a heated contest. So I think his rise and the coalition around him had to do with the fall of Matos, really the collapse of the lieutenant governor, who I think it's over. She alienated McKee, right or wrong. He was her biggest defender. He did handpick her to be the lieutenant governor. You can read about that, the Lizard Boy, the latest about what happened with the airport and everything. Folks, all at the website, DePetro.com, brought to you by the Cowesett Inn, 226 Cowesett Avenue, West Warwick, lunch, dinner, drinks, and lounge. And now they have the market at the Cowesett Inn. They're waiting for you at the Cowesett Inn. All right. Is it warm out? It is warm out. How warm, how hot is it? It's, granted, it is. It's hot. But I have to admit, I never remember St. Paul's School of Bishop Hendricken ever. We're not going to have class because it's too warm. And it's become the norm. I started receiving, I should say, email from parents that immediately started saying they felt that schools should be canceled because of the lack of air conditioning. 19 Providence schools canceled classes due to the heat. And then, it's carried into some other communities. I still maintain that it is warm. But as I was saying in the first hour, there's definitely an attitude that some people have, that perhaps some of our younger people are growing up, and the term they use, and coaches mention it, that they're just kind of soft, that a lot of younger people, children, that I'm looking at the Channel 10 website, weather alert, hot, humid. But what I don't understand is Providence officially hits 90 degrees for the first time this year. All right, so it is still summertime, but I wonder about in the schools closures due to heat concerns. It's one day. It's one day. I'm not saying that it's all the time, but I just wonder about what would happen if just for one day there was more of a focus of that we're gonna endure this. We're gonna deal with the elements. Right? Like, let's come up with ways of how can we stay cool and still get a learning lesson in here. Maybe we move to another part of the building that's cooler, obviously, if you're high up compared to, a lower level. Maybe let's take the classroom outside, so we're going to be under a shady tree. Teaching, it's interesting to me. Just bear with me. Now, again, I understand it is warm. And many of these schools don't have air conditioning. But what about a big problem we find right now is look at how adults react with a flight delay and people lose their mind at the airport. Or, on a plane where people are not getting their way, fights because one family member wants to be able to sit next to another family member. It would seem less and less people are able to cope with various things that are going to happen, right? The road rage, people go out of their mind because someone allegedly cut them off. Many times it could be unknowingly cut them off. There's a lot of lessons, I believe, for younger people that can learn to adapt. Things aren't always going to go your way, right? There's going to be a big day you have planned and it's going to rain. I remember years ago reading a story that there were children, when they were entering into college in the dormitory, a big problem was there were children that were unaccustomed to sharing a bathroom with anyone. Because when they grew up, they had their own room and their own bathroom. Now, again, I shared a room, right, with my two brothers. My sisters shared rooms. So it's not a big thing to adapt to. But there's more and more people, seemingly. Someone said something to someone on the bus. That's a bully. That needs to end. What is this? So it's, all right, I'm not saying, I'll bet it is hot in the classroom. So, but what about some element of, then everybody bring in a small fan, as I said. Think of the different situations that people have to cope, and seemingly they're unable to. And younger people, there's one thing about TikTok and some of the social media that I recognize some people aren't on, but people post all these wild videos. There was a, I think it was New Jersey Transit, and this girl's on there, and the train is full, and she's got her headphones on. She refuses to take her bag off the seat, and there are people standing there, and she's like, she refused. They finally, and there's no seats. The conductor comes over, and they threw her off the train. Like that's just, there are people out there. One of the things that COVID showed me, and that I learned from social media, the amount of people that truly, they're unable to think for themselves. They're unable to adapt to anything out of the norm. You know what else? There's so many people now. There's a kid at CCRI that's wearing a full lizard costume. The amount of people that immediately go to the defense. Maybe he has a skin condition on his neck. Somebody else. No one wants to talk about mental health in this country. Compared to what? I hated that comment. I hate people who talk in bumper stickers. No one wants to talk about the mental health problem. Compared to what other country? What are you comparing that to? What are you talking about? See, that's the new norm. Someone does something that is inappropriate or rude or whatever, and immediately all these individuals go to the mental health defense, right? All of the homeless people now all have built-in excuses. That, it doesn't mean that they're irresponsible. It doesn't mean that they developed a drinking problem. It doesn't mean they developed a drug problem. It doesn't mean they wouldn't do what they were told when they were young, or do their homework, or go to school, or show on time for work. Everything now becomes, well, no one wants to talk about the mental health problem in this country. Like, what are you talking about? The guy that dumped the syringes in West Warwick. Now, he is nuts, that guy that was in court. No one wants to talk about what compared to what other country? Like, when someone says no one wants to talk about the mental health problem in this country, compared to who? Where have you traveled? Compared to where? China? Compared to where? Russia? Compared to Mexico? Like, what other country are you talking about? Everything now is a blanking excuse. I had someone attacking me. You are picking, there's a grown adult laying in the doorway of someone's business. How dare you, post that picture? Hey, listen, the general public and the owner of the store shouldn't have to deal with that. Every homeless person is not a victim. Every drug addict is not a victim. Every alcoholic is not a victim. How far is this going to go? There are some people that have, it leads them a series of poor decisions. Kids that I knew that were making bad decisions in 6th and 7th grade, what do you think happened? As they got older, the decisions got worse with more consequences. Everything now is a blanking victim. It is, and I can't believe, like, well, no one wants to talk about the mental health problem. Well, maybe he has a skin condition. All right, you have a skin condition. Let's play that out, Sally. You have a skin condition. So your way to deal with it is to dress in a reptile costume from head to toe. Does that make sense to any thinking adult? That's like, what parent would say, I can see the back of your neck is a little red. Maybe you should put on a lizard costume. I mean, it's so preposterous. Like, what are you people talking about? These people, that at no point do these people ever want to say that's poor judgment. That's wrong. This whole thing of the pronouns, how they identify. You're 19. Grow up. You don't march around. The professor, someone should say, hey, listen, it'd be like, I wouldn't allow my children to come to the dinner table if they had dirty fingernails. I wasn't allowed to come to the dinner table with dirty fingernails. Maybe he has a skin condition. Maybe we should all feel bad. Maybe we should have a fundraiser for him. What are you talking about? No, wrong. A professor should say, listen, I'm running a classroom here. This is a junior college. We're not having anyone coming dressed as mascots. Young men are going to be dressed appropriately. Young women are going to be dressed appropriately. Period. End of story. Non-negotiable. Well, I identify as a cat. Then you're not coming into the classroom. We're not putting in a litter box. The far left folks, they're so loud, right? How dare you criticize that person that's laying on the bench, right? I love the people that say, God could put you there tomorrow. I love that. Boy, that's quite a God you got there. All right, hold on. We're going to change things up. All right, Harry, you're off the bench. You go back into the, 4-bedroom colonial. Let's see. Who am I going to pick? Kenny, as the Almighty, starting tomorrow, bad news. You're now homeless. You're going to be on the bed. Yeah. God, I love that. God could put any one of us there tomorrow. Everybody. Now the children. Folks, this portion of the John DePetro show, I'm so glad someone asked me. They had a plumbing problem. As a matter of fact, their water heater gave way and said, could I recommend someone? The answer is yes. Here to help. J&B Plumbing. Plumbing repair and service. Damaged water pipes. Repair clogged pipelines. Water heaters. When your water heater blows out, you need someone immediately dependable, and someone will do it and do it right. As well as any type of plumbing work, by the way. There's nothing worse that can damage your home than if you have water leaking, water problems, plumbing problems. You need a good plumber. You need a reliable plumber. J&B Plumbing. Call today, 401-743-9153. Now, today, you may not need a plumber, but you might need one tomorrow. Or maybe you do know someone. Whether for your business or for your home, residential, commercial, J&B Plumbing. Plumbing repair and service. They're local, growing family-run business. 401-743-9153. Think of it like this. I share their Facebook page, and maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's this weekend. Maybe it's next week. Maybe it's next month. You suddenly realize you need a plumber. You can contact me. I have the plumber for you. I'd be glad to refer you to them. J&B Plumbing. 401-743-9153. Folks, good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePetro Show on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. I would just argue, there have been countless situations where children have been in situations where, you had children that were trapped in like a coal mine. You had children that were trapped somewhere. The adults keep them calm. The adults occupy their minds. There's just different ways. I don't think we're serving the younger generation that they look for reasons. It should be, here's how we're going to overcome this. I also want to, yeah, I find it also kind of a provincial attitude. Anyone that's been paying attention, the state of Arizona, the western part of our country, they had a horrible, horrible, dry, terrible heat summer. How do you think they were coping? I mean, I just think, I'm not saying it's not like it's a week. I'm not the type that say, those that would walk to school, 2 feet of snow, 3 miles each way. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about adults using a situation like this, teach a little perseverance, a little bit thinking out of the box, using a real life situation and trying to teach young people how you cope in a situation like that without, there's going to be a time where they may be in an emergency situation and you can't just cancel. You can't just go home. You can't either find your way to air conditioning or something heated, and kind of teach them to think on their feet a little bit, folks, or uh, how to deal with adversity, because they're going to deal with adversity. Folks, this portion of the John DePetro Show is brought to you by Ryan's Appliance Repair. Now, it looks like we need a new water pump in the washing machine. How do I know that? Because Tom came. It won't click to the final cycle. It's not draining. So anyhow, we have a problem with the washing machine. What did I do? Did I try to fix it? I did not. Although I did watch Tom take the panel off. He quickly figured out what was wrong. Did I just go buy a new one? I don't think we need a new one. I just think we need this one fixed. I called Ryan's Appliance Repair. Remember what they said, when your appliance is dying, just call Ryan, 401-710-7096. 401-710-7096. Ryan's Appliance Repair. Whether it's a washing machine. Are you having a problem with your dryer? Are you having a problem with an appliance in your home? Refrigerator, stove, oven. Ryan's Appliance Repair. He'll come to you. 90 days, guaranteed parts and labor, senior citizens discounts available. He'll come to you on a Saturday. Ryan's Appliance Repair, 401-710-7096. Reliable, professional, dependable. Ryan's Appliance Repair. I am, excuse me, it's not your imagination. I am his biggest fan. And he's helped us out a lot. Now, folks, good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePetro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. I have in front of me the Coventry Police arrest report, Officer Dolan, over the weekend. This guy. What? I don't blame the Pawtucket Police. How can we get rid of this guy? Let's go through the report. Of course, he refused the test. By the way, I can't stand on social media. What's that guy's name? Josh Mactaz. He's an attorney in Newport. He makes his living off helping people navigate the loopholes in our DUI laws. Is there any lower form of people? That's all he specializes in. Helping people who endanger all of us, who get behind the wheel, and people that make their living off helping and enabling those people. Rhode Island needs to tighten our drunk driving laws. Rhode Island needs to put attorneys like that, whatever the blank name is. I think it's Josh Mactaz. Need to put people like that always, hey, if you remember, refuse the test, call me. It's so unfair to the rest of us on the roads. They don't care about the families that are affected, the family members that are affected, the people whose lives are forever changed because someone made the decision. No, I can drive. I'm okay. I'll just hire a guy like that to get me out of it. We need to close the loopholes to make the roads safer. But anyhow, stationary traffic post, Main Street, Sandy Bottom Road. Tires screech, loud engine revving. Look towards the intersection. Dark-colored pickup truck. High rate of speed. Causing the wheels back end. Sway to the right, almost going off the road. Vehicle crossed over the double line. activate the lights and siren, pull it over. Was going 50 miles an hour. This is on a side road, mind you. Moderate traffic in the area. Caught up, pull over, approach the driver's side, ask for the license. Before getting his license, he stated, "You know who I am." I had to advise him I didn't know who he was. What is it, Patrick Kennedy? I then identified the operator as Daniel Dolan. I advised, "You know who I am." Could you be a bigger jerk? Stopped him for driving erratically. 2 passengers were inside the vehicle as well. Richard Dobbs, Matthew Howick. Why are they in the vehicle with this guy driving? 3 of them. I asked Daniel Dolan, "Why are you driving erratically?" "I was just trying to get home." Asked if he had been drinking. "No." While speaking, I noted the odor associated with consumption of alcohol. He also had bloodshot, watery eyes. Speech was slow and slurred. And then 2 other officers arrived. They do a check of the vehicle, active license, blah, blah, blah. At this time, "Would you submit to a field sobriety test?" He said yes. Getting out of the vehicle now. He's stumbling, had to use the vehicle to support himself. You have 3 adults. What is going on with these individuals? I escorted him to the side of the vehicle. Started with phase 1, blah, blah, blah. Detected the strong odor. Raised the index finger, blah, blah, blah. It sounds like he's having problems with all that. Missed heel to toe. I've filmed all of these tests, by the way, with Cranston PD Live. Then tried to do the one-legged stand. Again, this is so embarrassing with 2 other people in the vehicle. What, the 3 of them? No one's ever thought of all right, I'll be the designated driver? I advised him he's under arrest, suspicion of DUI. Handcuffed, searched, placing him into custody. Said, "You guys doing a great thing, should really feel proud of yourselves." What a jerk. This is, again, the Pawtucket police officer. Let's see, they start going through, right to be examined by a physician. Folks, as I've told you, this thing, it also takes an awful long time. While reading him the implied consent, he made comments stating, "Beat me," I can't even use the word, "beat me, blank, blank," and "shut the blank up." Was told to sit down several times, standing up, advancing, clenching fist. I will have this posted on DePetro.com immediately after this program. He was offered the use of the telephone, confidential phone call. He declined, refused the chemical test. He's secured in a cell, became aggressive, yelling, "Get the blank out of my cell. You're a P word," the one that President Trump used on the Access Hollywood tape, and "shut the blank up" to the Coventry police. What a first-class jerk! Wow. His brother Michael Dolan arrived on the scene, take custody of the vehicle. Due to both Richard and Matthew also appearing to be intoxicated. So you have 3 guys all loaded. I was advised he was secured in the cell. This is Officer Dolan. "Next time I'll be shooting. Next time I'm killing you." I can't say the word. It's a homophobic slur. Begins with an F. This is a Pawtucket police officer. What an absolute disgrace this guy is. He had the right attorney that got him off the first time. While processing Daniel, he made several threatening comments to Sergeant Casey. "I will smash you." Kept acting like he wanted to fight. Is he stinking of blood, bloodshot eyes? We waited with him till he got a ride home. Made a comment. Coventry police had to go to his house. They walked up to the door like rookies. Would have been easy to pick us off one by one. He went on to say he didn't because he was feeding his chickens at the time. So now he's threatening to shoot police officers. At one point, he asked, "Do you know who I am?" Two kids speeding on the highway asked, "Did you shoot them or shoot at them?" He replied, "He hit one of them in the arm." What? God. Boom, boom, boom. They arrived at his house. He said, "You guys showed up 7 cars deep, walked in like a bunch of rookies. I should have picked all of you off one by one." Again, I will have all of this unedited on DePetro.com. The rest of the media clean it up a little bit. I'm not going to do him that. Oh, okay, here it is. Callahan responded, blah, blah, blah. Speaking, he'd met up with Daniel earlier that evening at Dragon Palace. He had been drinking 2 Scorpion Bowls. Matthew said he thought Daniel was already intoxicated when he first arrived. He insisted on driving when they left. They yelled, "Stop, pull over," when he noticed he was speeding off, but he refused to stop. Now, Dragon Palace. I say, I know this wouldn't be popular, but they have a very intoxicated individual. I think there should be some consequences if people are driving away from an establishment like that. And I know there'd be a lot of pushback from hospitality, but something has to be done. Folks, this portion of the John DePetro Show, new sponsor, Scalp Masters. Scalp Masters. What is it? Micropigmentation. Service for men and women experiencing hair loss or thinning of the hair. You're going to look younger. You're going to feel more confident. It'll give you more density. You can call for a free consultation, 401-867-1097. Now, I also share their Facebook page. You can also learn more about them on their website. Scalp Micropigmentation, hair restoration, Scalp Masters. Michael is the founder. He is very knowledgeable. Check out his website. He'll give you how he arrived where he is right now. But what do? Help people, thickness, improve their appearance, and it will make you, whether it doesn't matter, male or female, adds density to existing long hair, or those that have already maybe had some kind of work done. It can conceal and hide hair transplant scars. It's non-invasive. It's a cosmetic procedure. Scalp Masters. Again, call for your free consultation. They're located right in Cranston, Oaklawn Avenue, 401-867-1097. 401-867-1097. Free consultation. Scalp Masters. And you can also find them on Facebook, and I will be sharing their Facebook page. Well, folks, good afternoon. At 12:37, you're listening to the John DePetro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. Now, I do anticipate we will be doing Facebook Live later. Sometimes, again, I know people love it. I know when people love when we go out and do it, but there's an ebb and flow to it. There's an ebb and flow to it, and there's also an element of sometimes there's false alarms. I was out last night on it. It was a false alarm. We went, we thought we had something, the scene had cleared. That was last night. On Tuesday night, there was a false alarm as well. So it is interesting that all the Providence schools, I find this is interesting, they received money to improve their air circulation in the schools. So if that is the case, and that certainly was the case in light of the pandemic, then what happened to all that money? And then why is it that all these schools still have to be canceled? I don't know what to make of this, folks, other than more and more people are learning. The public school model and system by and large, it's a failing system. It's a model that is outdated. It I see why, and it depends on where you live, but it I can see why more and more people are opting for, whether it be private school, charter schools, which are public schools, by the way, and or just homeschooling. Now, by the way, I also want to draw your attention to, and I did put this on social media. I'm going to do a post on this on DePetro.com coming up. I don't understand why the Republican right now in this CD1 race, who happens to be Gary Leonard, something that needs to be looked at. And I think it should come from the party. I think it should come from the party. I think it should come from the elected leaders in the party, Republicans, I mean, and that is the mail ballots. And especially this. Now, she didn't win, Anna Quezada, but I posted this, and I posted it on both Facebook and Twitter. I will do a posting on this. So this woman received 799 mail ballots. So what's significant about that? She's for the first time that I am aware of in a local election, she received more mail ballots than day of voting. Anna Quezada, I'm well aware she was not in the top 5, but polling place, 513 votes, that's day of. Early voting, 82 people, but mail ballots, almost 800 mail ballots. Where does that compare to some of the other people? Think of it. She got 800. Sandra Canoa Pawtucket, she came in third. She had 790 mail ballots. Matos came in fourth. She had 661 votes. Now, a problem is, when I posted this, almost on cue, these people, they think here's someone posted, typical Dem ballot harvesting. You're wrong. That's not typical. You're not paying attention. This has never happened before. Supposedly, she got more mail ballots than people that went to the polls and voted for her. Don't say typical Dem ballot harvesting. It's never happened before. The Republicans sometimes, in my mind, are they're some of they're their own worst enemy, because they always try to act like ho-hum, nothing to see here. And I will never understand it. Whoever this is, again, it's not like a real account, but this is really significant. So in the CD1 race, Gary Leonard, I know people are already asking, do I think he has a shot? I don't want to be a broken record, but he can't do it all. Okay, but this woman, I'm not saying she won, but the fact of the matter is, there's no way that makes sense. There's no way that this Anna Quezada, now she finished, I think, down below Casey. There's no way that's legit. You can't let them get away with it. You need to put the entire party on notice. Here's the thing. Hear me out. You need to put the system on notice that you're not going to tolerate all of these mail ballots. Now, this woman, she's a state senator in Providence. If the Leonard campaign, and I know it's unfair for Gary Leonard, he's the Republican who's now taking on the Democrat Gabe Ammo. The winner gets the Cicilline seat, congressional seat, District 1. Don't get me wrong. It should be coming from the Republican Party. It should be coming from Senate Minority Leader Jessica De La Cruz. It should be coming from House Minority Leader Mike Chippendale. But they're not doing anything. Someone has to draw attention to it. Someone has to say, we want an investigation into those mail ballots. Right? Because the problem with the Republican Party is, like, what's the point of all this effort? And then when there's clearly something wrong, they don't push it on that. You can't let them get away with it. And I come back to that Senate, the Senate Minority Leader, Jessica de la Cruz. I have faith in the system. I mean, I won. That's so parochial. That's not what we're talking about here. Now, this former Marine, the Republican, Gary Leonard, and I'll play. He was actually on Fox first, Fox and Friends first. It rolls between 5 and 6 in the morning. They gave him a short segment. Okay, but he did fine. He's going to need all the help he can get. But what he's not getting is any help from the party. Folks, I don't know how else to explain it. You have to close the loophole. So here's the problem I have with the Rhode Island Republican Party. And I believe I'm going to see the chairman at an event next week. So, this is so unfair that you send these people out there, right? They agree to run, and they put 100% effort into it. And they walk and pound the pavement and go and meet all the people and get their friends to donate money, and they put up their money. And you allow them to go in, and you it's almost like an offensive line who's not protecting the quarterback. Like, it's so unfair it's so unfair the elected Republicans at the State House allow these Republicans to come in and then just get pummeled because they don't know how the system works. And the people that are Republicans at the State House they're ineffective in trying to draw attention to it. And I can't get away from that statement of Senate Minority Leader Jessica de la Cruz saying, well, I mean, I won. That's so self-serving. That's so parochial. That's so short-sighted. We didn't say, is every election rigged? You're missing the point. This woman, Anna Quezada, she shouldn't be allowed to get away with it. And these people that just blow it off like, oh yeah, Democrats ballot harvest, I don't understand the Republicans that run cover for them. They should be making a lot of this. But look at this. Once the election's done, everybody moves on to the next story. And here's a bulletin for the Rhode Island Republicans. If you don't make a big deal of it, the media is not going to make a big deal of it. I also had a friend who broke it out, and there's actually one particular precinct where this woman dumped a ton of ballots. It's worth investigating. Folks, don't you see, and I want people to, there's a difference of people who just criticize and don't offer anything. All of the talk that we're having right now about fair elections and trying to get more people involved in the process, and look at the Matos thing, right? The signature scandal with Matos, that's a good thing for the Republican Party. It's a good thing, actually, for everyone involved. Because otherwise, look at what they were doing. They were treating it like no one is paying attention, and we can get away with it. And if you allow them to get away with it, they're going to cheat. If you allow people to be dishonest, and you don't do anything about it, they'll be dishonest. Ask anyone that runs a business with deals with cash. If you allow, right, tell me if I'm wrong, if you allow your employees to take money out of the cash register on a daily basis, on a nightly basis, whatever, and there's no consequence, and there's no, hey, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. So, in my thought is, the Republican Party, the only way you can challenge to get the voting reformed is they're always going to ask you for concrete examples. That's the first thing. And I'm not saying they're wrong to do that, by the way, but they're going to, say, show me the example of the fraud. I am telling you right now, there's no way that this woman got those votes legitimate. I also wonder if people didn't vote twice. There's no mechanism to check if people voted twice. There's no mechanism that exists. Right now, after this primary, Joe Powers, and I'll share that with them, But it really should come from Jessica De La Cruz, Mike Chippendale, all of them up there. They should be holding a briefing right now. They get media attention, and we want investigation into the mail ballots that just happened in this primary. Like I am at a loss. What are they waiting for? What are they waiting for? If you're playing sports, and one of the things in sports, whether it's football, is Belichick doesn't say, all right, in the next play, we're going to give them a couple yards. You can't give them, you can't let them get away with it. Maybe that's not the best analogy, but you have to challenge it. This problem with the signatures, by the way, that was uncovered by the Jamestown Board of Canvassers. And what did it do? It led to Newport. And then it led to East Providence. And then it led to Barrington. Then there was even an example in Providence. So it's more widespread than people thought. This stuff with the ballots, I don't understand. I don't understand the silence. I really don't. Folks, this portion of the John DePetro Show is brought to you by AJ Drive, and I'll post all this stuff on DePetro.com. I also want to, the Republican Party, I was very upset. It was, let's see, spring of 22, I think. They had a press conference, and it was the GOP chairwoman, Susie Yankee, and it was Jessica De La Cruz. And what did they talk about? Buddy Cianci with mail ballots in the early 80s. I mean, it was embarrassing. That's not modern day. You need to stay up. You need to stay up on how they're doing this and pulling this off in real time. And the best example is, I'm telling you, when you look at those numbers. All right, and also on this Thursday, if you know Rep Casey, and I'm sure some people, especially in the Woonsocket area, know him. Ask him what he thinks of her mail ballot numbers. Ask him if he thinks that's legit. I don't believe it. That woman, for the first time ever, we have a candidate who received more mail ballots than day of voting. I don't believe that. That's not a ho-hum. That's not typical. That's never happened before. It deserves and warrants an investigation. I'll tell you who's not going to want one is the Democrat Party. So what does that leave? It leaves the Republicans. Folks, this portion of the John, and don't tell me the media is not going to cover it. I am so sick of their excuses of the media doesn't go with it. You're wrong. The media is dying to cover that story. Look at the way they covered the Matos situation. Don't give me that. God, these people are so full of excuses. Folks, this portion of the John DePetro Show is brought to you by AJ Drywall, Plasters, and Home Improvement. Call them today, 401-323-9252. Frame to finish basements, acoustical ceilings, new homes, additions, commercial, rehabs, painting, remodeling, family-run business, free quote. How would you really like to have a home office? Call AJ Drywall, Plasters, and Home Improvement today. Free consultation serving Rhode Island and southeastern Mass. 401-323-9252. 401-323-9252. Maybe it is really adding on to your ceiling. Maybe it is a new home, or maybe it's an addition built on. There's a lot of, there's not big inventory right now for people that want to buy a new home. More and more people are saying, we're going to remodel our home the way we would like it to be. AJ Drywall, Plasters, and Home Improvement. 401-323-9252. Folks, good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePetro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. It is hot out. It's going to remain okay. This is a hot day. This is the hottest day we've had, actually. Hottest day, actually, all summer. This is a good day. You want to make sure you stay hydrated. I never liked those segments on the news, right? Channel 6. Tonight we're going to show you how to shovel snow. But stop in and see Maria at It's My Health. 1099 Mendon Road in Cumberland, diagonally across from Davenport Restaurant. She has different things you can take and put in your water in order to stay hydrated. Now, she has a lot of different things. Vitamins, herbal remedies, local products, herbs, teas, spices, hemp and CBD products. It's My Health, 1099 Mendon Road in Cumberland. If you're on Mendon Road right now, pop in and see Marie. Support a local retailer, support a local business, and she has quality things. But especially a day like today, it's My Health, 1099 Mendon Road in Cumberland. Any of the schools that canceled, I think they should have had Marie come in and explain to the kids of what they could do and take and help themselves remain cool. So I also, I'll say this, and I was talking about this with someone this morning. Biden poll danger. Dems want an alternative. The problem with President Biden right now that I see, Biden faces negative job rating, concern about his age as he gears up for 2024. The problem, I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't recall a time when that becomes the deciding factor on why people don't want to support someone. And the problem, what I find interesting about the Biden age dilemma is if the polls are bad for a candidate based on the economy could turn around and thus the polls could turn around. If the polls are weak because of jobs, that could change, and then thus the numbers would turn around. The problem with age, it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better next month. It's not going to get better in 6 months, and it certainly isn't going to get better a year from now. They feel that they're going to be up against President Trump. But if that, and we don't know if that's going to happen, but if that were to change, then the Democrat Party would be very, very nervous. They feel confident right now. And the only reason they seem to be backing him is they think, they could be wrong, but they think that he could defeat President Trump in a rematch. But I'm not convinced the president runs again. The age thing, 3/4 of the American public feel he's too old. I don't see him changing that. It's one of those, how do you just put yourself in their shoes? How do you do that? Do you show him more active? Do you show him, they try that. They show him riding a bike. They try to show him walking around. It is what it is. People that have either a parent that starts to fail. By the way, there are some people that are much older than President Biden, and they're totally fine. He's just not one of them, right? I mean, there are people 90 years old that are still playing golf, playing tennis, and they're very active. He's not that. His energy has been zapped. That's why I think behind the scenes, what you're really seeing is different Democrats jockeying to be ready should he decide not to. Should he decide not to. And I don't know. It's a tough one. Anyone that has older, I was speaking with someone, and the battle they went through to stop this person's in-law from driving. It was very, very difficult. I'm not going to say who. Recently, there was someone in the news, an older person, who got into an accident, and they were in their early 90s. I wasn't really aware of it. It wasn't a fatality, but there was quite a bit of damage done. And then I heard from one of the family members who said, for the past 3 to 4 years, it's been a huge battle trying to get the keys away from this person. So Biden, to me, the president, he seems very ornery. He's very insulated. As Donna Perry talks about, we really don't know what he's like in the day-to-day. But I'll tell you, if he has what I would describe as like a Mitch McConnell moment on a debate stage, imagine, let's just play it out. Maybe it is a rematch. Maybe it's Trump-Biden. And next fall, next September at this time, you have the two of them standing on a debate stage. And Biden has one of those Mitch McConnell moments where he basically has to be guided out and needs whatever. Then what does the Democrat Party do? So I don't know where it's going to lead. If you're Jill Biden, they like living in the White House. If you're the first lady, they like flying in Air Force One. If you're all his people, the moment they give up the job, they lose their job. So I I don't know, but there's something in the works there. There's something. I wonder. I don't know. I wonder if this final year he steps down and allows Harris to become the president. I don't know. All right, folks. Here's what I do know. It's 12:59. We're going to break for the 1 o'clock news. Now, coming up next hour. Now, later today, we're ready to do Facebook Live on the scene live stream. But coming up next hour, our legal analyst, attorney Tim Dodd, you'll hear us discuss Jack Jones of the Patriots. Very unusual the way that case got dropped. Also, the latest with President Trump, with some of his legal situations. Hunter Biden, it looks like the indictment is coming. Also, the Karen Reed case as well, an update on that. It's John DePetro on this Thursday. Coming up, we're going to hear the 1 o'clock news. Next hour is radio only, AM 1380, 99.9 FM. We're back on the other side after the 1 o'clock news.